on that cabinet, in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station. You get out and you create a crowd. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
You could put half of Trump's supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables.
Recent years have seen the rise of cancel culture, but this is a balmy comparison to the state of affairs that we're currently in, as the leading opposition is at risk of being jailed during an election year.
Donald Trump found guilty on all 34 counts of falsifying business records in the first degree. All 34 are felonies.
Throughout history, dictatorships canceling their competition is commonplace, but seeing this tactic come to America is a top threat to our constitutional republic. It's not a democracy, it's a constitutional republic. Welcome to the Blockchain Bunker, where we dissect the macro to distill the meaning of current events around the world in the backdrop of history as it unfolds. We are powered by Arculus, the Spartan of cold wallet storage for your crypto. Get yourself one with a discount on us by using the code BASE10 at checkout and click the link down in the description, which supports the channel and protects your digital assets with the best technology available on the market. In a country that stands for freedom and the power of the people, it is a grim day to see the cancel culture being taken to the next level above and beyond the flu era of oppression.
I'm going to ask the Justice Department and I'm going to ask the President to tell us what they're going to do to protect this country against violence if he loses. I want to know about all of those right-wing organizations that he's connected with, who are training up in the hills somewhere and targeting, what communities they're going to attack.
This is a particularly spicy topic, so hang on to your composure. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
You boys like Mexico? Yeah!
Jailing the opposition sounds something straight out of a spy movie. But nope, it's real life and it's happened more times than we'd like to admit, with no end in sight. Let's kick things off with the Russian Revolution of 1917. Picture this: Tsar Nicholas II is chilling in his palace, and the next thing he knows, he's got Bolsheviks knocking down his door. The revolution was in full swing, and jailing the opposition was practically a national sport. The Bolsheviks, led by Vladimir Lenin, were out with the old and in with the new, and promptly tossed the royal family and their supporters into prison. And by prison, I mean they were ultimately executed, but you get the drift. It's like Game of Thrones, but with fewer dragons and more political prisoners. Fast forward a bit more to the mid-20th century, and the era of charismatic dictators arises. We've got a buffet of examples here, but let's go with the classic Adolf Hitler. After his failed coup attempt in 1923, Hitler found himself in the slammer. But here's the twist: he used his prison time to pen Mein Kampf, which is basically the worst prison diary ever created. Once he got out, he flipped the script and started jailing his opposition left and right. The infamous Night of the Long Knives in 1934 saw Hitler eliminating rivals within his own party and political enemies. Jumping to the Philippines in the mid-1970s, we meet Ferdinand Marcos, a man who took jailing the opposition back to the headlines. In 1972, Marcos declared a martial law, citing the threat of communism as his main reason. Spoiler alert, it was mostly to keep himself in power. Under martial law, opposition leaders, journalists, and activists were rounded up and thrown into prison. One famous prisoner was Benigno Ninoy Aquino Jr., whose assassination in 1983 sparked outrage and eventually led to the People Power Revolution. Now let's bring it into the 21st century with a look at modern Russia. Vladimir Putin has been playing the political chess game like a grandmaster since he came into power in 1999. A notable example is the case of Alexei Navalny, an opposition leader and anti-corruption activist. Navalny has been in and out of jail more times than we can count, often on charges that seem flimsy as wet paper towels. In 2021, after surviving a poisoning attempt that he blames on the Kremlin, Navalny was arrested upon his return to Russia. His charges? Violating parole while he was in a coma. Seriously. You can't make this stuff up. It's like a bad soap opera plot, but unfortunately, this is real life. On a serious note, jailing the opposition is a grim reminder of the lengths to which some leaders will go to maintain their power. Bite it. It stifles democracy and silences dissent and often leads to widespread human rights abuses. But understanding these historical examples can help us recognize the signs and fight against such abuses in our own time. So next time you're scrolling through your newsfeed and seeing something about political leaders cracking down on their opponents, remember, this isn't just history, it's a cautionary tale. It's all happening around us here in 2024, in India's election between Modi and Gandhi, in Mexico where they had the bloodiest election on historical records, and of course right here in the United States with the persecution of Donald J. Trump as he approaches the election of the 47th President of the United States. I'm not here to tell you what to believe or who is right, but I do see signs and significance of what tactics are being used for our next presidential election, and it's not a good look. Once we see the deterioration of conversation between the average person, then civil unrest follows. We need to avoid this by keeping the open dialogue and communication lines available to the public so that they can discuss discourse in a safe and understood manner. Go ahead and let loose in the comments. I truly want to know your thoughts on this. Does Trump deserve to be in jail? Should we send Biden to jail for snorting coke and having guns and lying on his applications? For more important history, macro, and crypto, be sure to subscribe to the channel and drop a like on this video. Until the next episode, my dwellers, Druth out.